This is GrantTalk, hosted by Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch and author of The Queen of Grants.
Hi, I'm Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch.com, and I'm also your host today on GrantTalk. Sitting with me is Karren Timmermans. She is the president and executive director of the Pilcrow Foundation. And her foundation does exactly what I love the most. They give in-kind contributions to libraries all over the United States of hardcover books for children. I am so thrilled to meet you today, Karren, because I love to read to children.
Thanks so much, Libby. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
So how did your organization come about?
Well, we started in 2013. I was working with Barbara McKillop from the Libby Foundation, and I was at a meeting with her, and she said she was getting ready to retire. And I asked, who's going to continue your work? And she said, I don't know. So I stepped up.
Oh, wow. And you've been doing it for 11 years? You're in your 11th year?
Yeah. She did it for 25 years, so it's pretty exciting.
Uh-huh. And how do you decide which library who gets the books?
Sure, absolutely. We have some criteria. Rural, public are the two top ones. And so we have a pretty broad definition of rural communities, typically less than 40,000. 10,000 is our priority. And then they have to have a collection that they retain, so a catalog. So they're not giving the books away to the community. They're staying in the library for circulation. And they are to raise the match in their community.
So it's a matching grant.
It is a matching grant. Yeah, we match 2-to-1.
So how many books does a library typically win?
For the grant, they can raise $200 to $400 in their community, and we match it 2-to-1. So they'll receive, $600 to $1,200 worth of brand new children's picture books, which ranges about 40 to 70 books. They're all brand new hardcover.
So they'll get 40 to 70, and then they will pay for an additional how many?
No, their grant, within their community, they raise $200 to $400.
Oh, $100. Okay.
And that's all. And then we match it 2-to-1.
And who chooses the books?
I do. I curate the list. They have a list of over 700 books they can choose from. There's one list that is birth to grade 2. And then the second list is grade 3 to grade 7 or 8.
The librarian in my community, I grew up in Island Park, New York.
Yeah. And
that's when I was learning to read. And the librarian had a book waiting for me every week, a new book. And then I would discuss it with her. And she just really took such a personal interest in me. It was a small community. I guess we would call it rural. And I just love it. And I taught. I started out teaching in preschool.
Oh, wonderful.
So reading to children was one of my things. So I see that you have a grant available that's due in October. Is that correct?
We do. We run 2 grant cycles a year. The first deadline's April 1st, and the second grant cycle is October 1st.
So we just missed the first one, but we'll hopefully get this video out and you'll be watching it and be able to apply if you're a rural library. And what happens afterwards? Is there any follow-up? Is there any sustainability? I wrote this book, The Queen of Grants, from teacher to grant writer to CEO. And I want to talk to you about something that belongs in every single grant application. How will you sustain your program, your project, after the funds run out? Nobody wants to fund a one and done. They want to see the continuity and how you will sustain it. Think about that. They also want to know, how will you disseminate your program so that other people hear about it? And the third thing, which is most important, is your program replicable in another geographic area similar to yours? This is what funders want to see. I have been interviewing funding sources for GrantTalk, and they tell us they want something that can be replicated in other locations. So think about it before you write your application, and keep winning those grants. Is there any sustainability? Did they communicate with you?
Absolutely. Actually, I have some really great communications with the librarians. They're very excited about the grant. the community investment is an essential part of this, that they're getting investment from their friends of the library. Some raise funds through their local businesses, a bank, a brewery, a hairdresser, whomever in the community is supporting them. And so part of the grant is they have to file a report once they receive the books and they're in the catalog, and they often will have a celebration. I went to one, I was invited to one locally, and they had cake. So it's often a big deal for the community, and their sponsors are usually invited and quite proud of their efforts.
If you give a child a book, you've taught them to read. It's an unbelievable gift. And the fact that they can bring it back and forth and find a place where there are more and more books, great.
Indeed, yes.
So proud to know you, so proud to list your grant on GrantWatch. I am. And
I definitely know it makes a difference because I see the announcement myself and usually have a flood of applications coming in shortly thereafter. So yes, it makes a difference. So I appreciate your work as well.
That is really good to hear. So what do you think the future of your nonprofit is?
Well, just sustaining what we're doing. We have one mission, and that's to give books to rural public libraries. We have disaster relief grant, which is a non-matching grant. So librarians who have lost their collections to flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, mold infestation, they can apply for a grant, and we provide $800 worth of brand new books.
I see the flooding in Texas lately in the news, and I'm sure they're going to need you.
They will. We funded a lot of libraries in that area, so I'm going to probably follow up with the librarians to see how they're doing. Yeah.
And do they send you videos and pictures of the children?
They do. They send videos. They had a farmer come in with a pig, and they read to the pig. So some are really fantastic. They send photos of their donors, their sponsors with the books. They send pictures of the books in their catalog, the children at an event celebrating the books. So usually it seems to be a really big event in the communities.
And how difficult is the application?
It's pretty straightforward, mainly in general information about the library and then information about their budget, because that is one of our criteria. Some of these libraries function on a shoestring, and how they're going to celebrate the grants and the new books and then announce the grant themselves.
And do you give grants to school libraries or only independent libraries?
Rural public libraries. So we only will fund school libraries if there is not a public library in the community. So that means the school library is also serving as the public library.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I'm really glad to hear from you and to speak with you. I hope you continue for many more years to come. There's definitely a need. And I just want to speak to our viewers for a minute. If you'd like to hear more from people just like Karren and foundations and hear what they're funding, or you want to hear from grant recipients, please hit the subscribe button. You have two opportunities. There's one on the right of your screen and one below. And we will continue to bring you many more videos of people that help make the world a better place. Thank you so much, Karren.
Thank you, Libby. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to GrantTalk, powered by GrantWatch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this GrantWatch channel. Please consider subscribing to GrantWatch.com, and you can find the book, The Queen of Grants, by going to GrantWatch.com/book. Thank you again for spending your time with us.